Hi, my name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. Today I'll be checking out LoopMangler by Igor Vasiliev, and it's freaking rad, so let's oj! LoopMangler is an innovative multi-effect glitch sequencer. It's designed to manipulate rhythmic samples, external input or output from other applications. It operates based on the effect sequence patterns, allowing you to transform ordinary loops into unusual, glitchy, noisy textures. Basically, like all of Igor's apps, it's a whole lot of fun destroying rhythms and sounds. LoopMangler is available on the App Store for $14.99 and works on all iOS devices, including M Series Macs. It is an AUv3 audio unit and works in all of your favorite DAWs. Now let's check out a demo of it in action. Okay, so let's find out how LoopMangler works. Today we're going to be working in AUM. So to kick off, I'm going to open an audio track here. Now you can open LoopMangler two different ways. You can open it as an instrument, go to audio units and choose it here as an instrument, or you can load it as an effect. And we can go in here and do that, as you can see. The difference will be is, as an effect, you can run a drum through this as an instrument, or in the effect, you can choose a loop also. So you've got the option to choose a loop or run something else through it, like an instrument, like a piano or whatever, or drums. You can run that through and decide that way. If you're using it as an instrument, the only way you're really going to be doing it, even though you've got the option here, is to load a sample. So let's talk about that first. Let's make it full screen and go to samples. So from our samples screen, you can come in here and you can import a sample. You can see I've got 4 of them in here already. So you can hit import and it'll take you to your files app and you can load whatever you want in here. So that's, music, drums, it's up to you. That's totally up to you. But I have one already in here. Let's just grab this one here. So I'm going to click on it and hit load, and you can see that sample has been loaded in the top here. Now this is a 90 BPM. So I'm going to go up here and just bring this down to 90 BPM to match everything up. And now we hit play. Cool, so we've got a little beat going on there. Hit play again. Okay, now let's talk about our little sequencer here. So I'm sure you're very well aware of what a sequencer is. Yes, most of us are. So now just let's talk about what it is. So you've got steps here. Now we've got 16 steps in this section here. You can actually change that. Go to our patterns down the bottom here and you've got steps and you can go up to 64 steps. So that is 4 bars. 16 steps is a bar. Now, why am I telling you bars here? Because it gets a little confusing, because not only do we have these steps going across here, these across here are also known as rows, but downwards they are called bars. So not only So we'll just stick to calling these steps for this. So we'll just stick to saying like 48 steps. And you can see when you add extra steps, it adds these sections across the top. So we've got 3 bars in here with 48 steps. We can change this at any time. Go to 32. You'll see we've got 2 sections here that we can fill up our sequencer. So we've got bars going down and rows going across, and each one is a step. So let's come back here to 16 steps just for now and hit play once again. You can see it's running in time. Boom, and going back there. Now, we can actually edit this wave if we want. So we can grab the handles from the side here and we can trim this down however we want. So we can come in here and trim this, hit play. Right, we can trim this all the way down. So you've got full options there to go in and trim and play around with your sample as well. Now, once you have a sample loaded, we want to talk about effects, because this is where we add our glitches. Now, you can have in these bars going down here, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effects stacked on top of each other going down, running across. And how do we find our effects? Down the bottom here, we have this effect thing. I'm kind of blocking it out. So when you click on the effects down here, you get a little empty button. And when we click on this, these are all of the effects we have. So empty, gate, glitch, stutter, pulse, decimator, filter, comb filter, slow, noise, and 2 delays. So if I add a glitch to this, you can see in that little spot here, it's added a glitch. So now if we go back to the start and hit play, on that beat, we're getting that glitch in there. So before we go any further, let's talk about the copy, paste, clear, move stuff down here, because you can move all this stuff around. I can copy this, I can hit copy, and I can choose cell. I've got it selected. Then I can go over here and hit paste and copy that cell wherever I want. Also, I can come in here and hit copy. I can copy an entire bar, right? So that would be the down section. So if I have multiple things in here, that will copy the full bar, and I can go and paste that wherever I want. I can copy the entire grid. I can copy the row that goes across. I can copy the entire pattern, everything involved. And the same, we can paste. So I can come over here and I can do another paste this over here, paste in that glitch. I can move things as well. So we can come over to this glitch here and I can clear it if I want, and you can clear the cell. Same with, if you notice, if I hit clear, You've got all the options for bar below, bar right, grid, pattern, so you can clear all this stuff, lots of options there. Plus we have a move. If I click on move, I can move it a bar down, so it leaves this spot open for something else that I may want above this effect. I can click on it and say move it bar right, and you can move these things around. Or I can just come up here, click on it and hit clear. I don't want the thing there anymore. Let's take this one out as well too. And now we've got a clear palette. I could have gone in and just cleared the entire, let's go, so you can clear the entire grid, easily get rid of everything, or you can come up here to the preset section and you've got an init patch here that you can hit up there and hit set, and you can clear everything out again. So we're still here in our effects section. And let's go through what some of these effects do and how you actually operate them. So we'll bring in another one. We'll bring in our glitch again, and you will notice on this glitch here, when I click on it, we've got glitch. We've got some options down here. So it says glitch. We can change this out wherever we want. We've got an occurrence. So if it's set to 1 to 1, then every pass through of the sequence, it's going to play it. If we set 4 to 5, it's going to play it 4 out of 5 times, 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3, 1 out of 2, and it gets less and less each time. So you've got some variation there that you can play around with, and you have a mute, so you can mute it or turn it on. Now this button will change as you go on, as you add things underneath. So let's hit play. Make sure our glitch is on. Oops. There's our glitch. I'm going to turn it down for a second. Now, once you've chosen an effect, you have this wonderful envelope for each of these effects, and you can change the number of steps this goes for. So let's turn it up and make it 4. So across this first, we're extending that. We can make this as long as we want. We can make it go the whole 16 steps. Completely up to you. Let's just make it go 4. We can change the envelope. So if we bring this down, it's going to hit right at that, right at the beginning there. Or we can drag that out. We can also change the waveform along here. And you've got a whole bunch of waveforms, squares, all this kind of stuff. Really cool. Just bring it back to where it was at the beginning. Double tap anywhere to bring it back. And you'll also notice, now that we have this glitch selected, over here there's normally some options that change per effect. So we've got some modes, so some different types of glitches. We've got 6 of those there. You've got a low pass filter, so different levels of your low pass there. You've got a threshold that you can turn low, mid and high. Over to the side here, we've got a bypass, so I can bypass the whole effect. I can mute everything, yeah. So that's basically all the controls you get for an effect. Now here's where it gets fun. If I want to add an effect under this, I can click on here and add in a new effect. So I might want to add something like a comb filter. Now you notice I want to drag this out and make it go the same length. But when I turn this up, it's only changing the top section for our glitch. That's because whatever you add underneath will be linked. And you can tell it's linked. Now there's a little link button down here. And when I hit unlink, watch what happens to the box. So you'll see it adds this little stretchy line. And when we hit link, it has a little triangle up the top, meaning that it is linked. So it's going to do whatever the top parent effect does. So if we unlink it now, we can add that comb and make it, 5 or 3. So it is independent of the top effect. And you can start chaining these things through. We can do change the occurrence up, so it's every 2 out of 3 times. Mess with the envelope a little bit. And again, we've got some modes. So these change over here depending on the effect. You can change the extension of it. So let's add something else. Let's add something over here. Something like a, I don't know, a decimator. And we can change the extension of this. Got a low pass filter. Again, you can see this changes over here. We'll change our envelope. Turn that down. Let's unlink it. Now I might want to take these two from over here. I can click over here and I might want to copy this and say copy the entire bar. Remember, down is a bar. And now I can come over here and paste that in, and we've got a repeat over here. But then I might want to come into this effect and change this out to maybe a slow. So you can hear now this is slowing right down. Let's click on this slow. We'll bring this envelope down and we'll change this to... So you can hear that slowing right down. We can change the steps to it. Let's take it out. Pretty cool stuff. What else do we have effect-wise? Let's bring that slow back a little bit. We'll bring it right back to 2 kind of thing, 2 steps. And we'll add something else in here. Let's come over here and add an empty slot. We've got a stutter. Let's throw in a stutter. So you can hear that straight away. And we can decide over here, medium, short, long stutters, stereo ping-pongs, so you can hear bouncing back and forward. Change the waveform out. Let's change this waveform back down here. Let's add maybe a delay in here next. So we'll come in here, empty slot. We've got 2 delays. Now I've added a delay and you'll probably hear straight away, where's the delay? There's no delay. So we have to actually turn the delay on. And where do we find this? Underneath pattern. Once you click on pattern, you'll see D1 and D2. These are where your delays can be turned on. We can do a medium delay. We can decide the division of our delay. We can decide a pattern random, a delay random. Or we can choose a user to our own specifications, yeah? So if we come in or delay off, let's come back to our effects here. And we'll add something else in here. What else do we have? We've got some noise. And you've got a selection of noises. White, pink, brown, blue. And you've got a mix and cross. We can bring this envelope down. Or we can delay it. Unlink it, stretch it out a little bit with our steps. Yeah, so it's... What else do we have? Let's come in here. We've got this whole second section here. And we've got a bunch of other effects. So we've got a pulse. Let's throw in a pulse. And we'll send this out. So you can hear that. There's our pulse. Got a medium, long pulse. Change the waveform up. We can change the occurrence to every 2 out of 3. Let's add something over here. So I'm just going through kind of all the effects. We've got a filter in here as well. You can decide if it's a low pass, high pass, band pass, notch, peak. Let's throw in a notch. You got a ring. You got resonance, mid. Let's unlink it. And what else can we add? We'll go over here. We've already done one delay. We've got slow. We've got cone. We've got most of them in here. The decimator, stutter. Oh, we haven't done a gate yet. Let's throw in a gate. And unlink that. So you can hear that gate kicking in there, pulling everything out. We can change the occurrence for this so it's not as frequent. We can change the gate to a cross. And again, you can just keep piling these up under each other. So we can add, we've got a comb filter in there. Let's add a stutter in there. Unlink it. Make it a long stutter. Let's add a delay. So things can get pretty mayhemic, yeah? And over here, where I'm pointing just here, is our input. Now you can't see the button properly, but it's an input, so we can control our input level, our bass, treble, and saturation. Double tap to bring everything back. We can control our output as well. So you've got your output level. We can bring that right down. It's got a built-in exciter. You've got a bass enhancer, a EQ gain, EQ frequency, double tap to bring them back, and there's also down here a limiter. So you've got a fast limiter, slow limiter, mid limiter, and you have a narrow and wide. Back to our effects. Okay, let's talk about another thing here. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit more. In our pattern, when we click on pattern, so here's your effects and here's your pattern. These are the two buttons you'll be using the most, bouncing back and forward, yeah? And in the pattern, here's where our delays are and our timing. So we've got a 4/4, 3/4, and 6/8, and we can add steps. Now I'm not sure, I haven't tried this. Can we copy this pattern? So if I copy this pattern here and then come over to this pattern and hit paste, does that work? Is that how you do it? Or grid? Let's try copy. Come over here, copy grid, and then click on this one and then hit paste, and you can copy the same thing over. So it's grid. So if you want to extend this out, and then you can come in here and maybe even randomize this. We're going to talk about randomization next, but we'll get out of this sample. So this is all being done just using a sample, right? Next, we're going to move on to taking a look at using something like a drum app. So let's stop it here. And we're going to close this out and let's get rid of this. So we're just going to delete this out of here. Now again, here we have it loaded just as an effect. And you can do the exact same thing as an effect. You can just load a sample in, exactly the same, hit play. So you don't have to load it as an instrument to be able to use samples. And again, you can trim them and do all that kind of stuff. But this time around, we're going to load an instrument. So to do so, you've got a More button up the top here. And this is where you can choose between samples, input, and you've got some settings. Look at the settings: restore last state when load audio unit, disable parameters, value pop-up. So that's the numbers that pop up when you change things. Show only user presets in the list, hide factory, show only favorite presets for audio unit and host, and disable confirm saving preset. Nothing that's going to melt your brain in there. So that's our app stuff. We've got MIDI stuff in here too. So when you want to learn MIDI input, learn, and MIDI 2. So all of your MIDI settings are in here as well. We can close that. Under More as well is this wonderful help guide, which is easy to navigate. It's for Igor's apps, this is actually one of the more easier apps I've had to learn from Igor. Now, the good thing is, so let's see if this works. If I come over here and stop it there and then hit close and then come out, want to come back to that help, it's going to be in the same place where I left off. And then I can go back to the top, scroll down, I get to this point, I'm like reading this bit here and I want to go and try something, close, come back. It remembers exactly where you're at. You can zoom in. If you're blind like me, you can zoom back out. So really wonderful help guide there. So let's go back over here to our More. So we're using samples here. And this is where you load your samples, import your samples. When you're in this screen, you can hit load from here and you get a quick load for samples too, just a smaller little screen for anything that you've already imported. But from More, if we hit input, it removes the sample from the top and now is waiting for input up here. So let's go over here and load something like Splat to Clat. Yes, let's wait for it to load and we'll just find something quickly in here. We'll go over to our kits and chill hip hop. Let's do something like Enjoy Yourself. Load that up. What is it? 98 BPM. Just going to change this up over here to 98. So there's our Splat to Clat. And you can see this is coming through here. And we can go in and start doing what we were doing before. Firstly, you do have presets. Let's talk about some presets. And they can get chaotic. And they are named for you here as such. So you can see here, effect bars, chaotic. We've got rhythmic, textured, chaotic stuff, rhythmic, textured. Let's try a chaotic. And once you click, you hit set up the top here. Now you can either come up here and load each one and then hit set again, or you can easily move through these just by hitting the arrows. Let's do some chaos, huh? I love the chaotic ones. All right, let's turn this down for a little bit. I want to show you something here in pattern. So let's click on pattern and pay attention. We've got a little effect button down here. Now, when I turn this on, it changes to gated. Now, it's not gating all of the sound. So this isn't like a bypass. It's some kind of algorithm that keeps some of the drum in there and uses the effects as well. So it's this slightly different version that's gating through some of the drum effect, as you can hear. It all depends on where the gates are in here and what all these effects are doing. So if we shift this to another effect and then gate this, where this particular gate is only kind of letting through a hi-hat every now and again. Now, in saying all of this, what's weird too, sometimes you don't even need to load something to set this off. So if we pause this, close this out of here, and just remove splat to clad, you can actually generate sounds. See? Because you've got glitches and stuff being here that are even like noises. So even if you've got a whole bunch of effects that are just noises, you can generate your own kind of weird stuff. So you can think outside the box also and say, you know, come up here and add an audio unit, Stellavox or something like that. Now let's jump a couple back. And create some soundscapey stuff. We don't even have any drums playing into it. Let's change this to something else. And now let's bring back in our drums. And remove our gated. So yeah, lots of craziness to be had with this. Very, 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 very cool. Let's talk about randomization, because the randomization stuff in here is really cool and really interesting. So I'm going to move out of the way, get myself out of the way here so you can see the buttons a little bit better. Over here we have a section called Make. Now when I click on Make, we get a whole bunch of options here, and I'm going to read through these and show you what they do, because remember, you can go to the manual at any time and check these out. So these are all kind of randomization things. So the first one's called Pattern Rhythm, and this creates a rhythmic pattern where there are empty spaces between effect bars, allowing the original signal to pass through unfiltered. So let's hit that. So essentially what it has done has put these effects in, but it has automatically added this gated button down here. If we go to Make again and hit Pattern Rhythm, so the next one in the list is called Pattern Fill. Now this makes a pattern where the effect bars are placed exactly on the beats of the entire beat, yeah? So you'll see that happen now. Let's turn off gated. So you can see right on the 2, 3, 4, it's on the beat and stretched out across each. Let's do another one of those, a pattern fill. One more time. Okay, so let's talk about the next one. The next one is Pattern Fill 2. Pattern Fill 2 makes a pattern where effect bars follow without gaps and can be shifted from the start of the beat. So watch what it does. So again, it's selecting a whole section, but it's more varied and not on the beat, yeah? Our next one is pattern bars. Let's stop for a second and talk about this. So remember, we talked about this at the start. We've got bars and rows. So pattern bars, if I have this set here on this step and then do pattern bars, all of everything in that bar all of the bars going down will change. So they'll remain whatever setup they had. So if we go in here and do like a pattern fill, see how these are all off kilter, and then I come in here and do pattern bars, everything running down will change. Pattern bars, everything just running down. Underneath that are bar random. What is bar random? Makes a new effect bar at the current position of the marker. So if I come in here and put something there, hit bar random, it's going to add in a whole row of bars. And I can come over here, bar random, a whole row of bars, and then can go in and do bar random pattern bars, and they'll all change and all retain all these new bars that I've put in there. Next, we have bar envelope. Now, let's talk about this. So bar envelope, what we need to do to show you this is come over to effects. So you can see our envelope here. Now, let's just click through this bar. So pay attention to the envelope of each of these. You can see it changing. So just remember these last two down here are triangles, yeah? And we've got like this step, what's a square, and this. Now, if I come over here and choose bar envelope, all of these have now changed. Everything within this bar, all the envelopes have changed. They've been randomized. Now, of course, if these bar envelopes, then row envelopes means the opposite. So over here, everything running across this way. So if you see, click on the glitch decimator, look at all of the envelopes down here and go across. Pay attention to these two. You know, you've got these two triangles here at the end, step there. Now, if I go and hit make and row envelope, all of these have now changed. All those envelopes have changed. So a quick way to change and randomize your envelopes. And this one here, bar, let's talk about these last ones. So bar effects GL. So if I have this decimator here, this bar running down, and click bar effects GL, it will change the top one, the parent, to a glitch. Now, if I change this to ST, it'll change the top one to a stutter. So it will always change the parent to whatever out of these four. So you've got the stutter, you've got the pulse, you've got the glitch, and what is the SL? I can't even remember what's SL. Get my brain going. S is slow. So they are your options. So a whole bunch of randomization. So mixed in with all your presets, hit a rhythmic, hit set, and then come in and make something else from there. Boom. A lot of options. I'll come back up now. Hello, here I am. Okay, so let's stop this for a second. Now, our last button on the end here, the loop button, gives us the option. So let's just quickly load in a loop. And you've got some more options for your loop. Now that I've loaded in a loop, this up the top here, oh, sorry about that, this up the top here, splat to clat, is irrelevant because a loop has now taken over here. So if we hit play with this loop, it's just from our loop section, we can change the pitch. Slow it right down. Double tap. We can decide the fade in. We can decide to fade out. And we can decide our crossfade. Now, word of warning, if you are messing around with it, it is kind of best to stop it and go back to start and hit play again because it can kind of get a bit confused and messed up. So, you know, have a stop and just keep messing around and going crazy, crazy banazy like that. All right, so that's pretty much everything that you can do in here. So we've also got this AA pitch on and off. Also, you can hit align to align this stuff up. Everything's covered so far. The last thing I want to talk about is, so just quickly in our presets, you can favor presets, delete, rename, move, new, create a group to move presets into, save, and you can export all your presets and your set button. So Pretty standard stuff if you've used Igor's apps before. Let's talk about loading in some music. So like you would have heard at the start, if we can load an audio track in here, and you can load any music. So a piano, let's just put in piano tech, and I don't know, we'll come up here, do a MIDI. Poly, what do we do? A polybud for now, and send this over here to piano tech. And what do we choose? We'll come in and do a C minor. Why not? Why not a C minor? And we'll do the octave. We'll take the octave up, take this up there. And let's just do some notes, random stuff. Random! Let's go back to our Splat the Clat. And now we can load up. So here's our piano coming through. And again, you can put anything you want through. Sound effects, anything. Let's do some making. Wild stuff. Add in a glitch scaper, which has already got some rhythmic stuff in it as well. Another great app by Igor. Let's just pause it, come over here, let's go out to our presets with glitchy. I know, grab this beat, hit set, maybe. There we go. And let's get glitchy on this. We'll add some chaos, something chaotic or rhythmic. This is so much fun. All right, this app is absolutely awesome. Let's get out of here for the day. So that is LoopMangler by Igor Vasiliev, a totally rad way to glitch the hell out of whatever you like. It's available on all iOS devices and M Series Macs for just $14.99. And I just love everything that Igor produces because, well, I love destroying sound. Are you enjoying the content here on the channel? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and by smashing a like, hitting the subscribe, ringing the bell, just to keep up with all of the latest app demos and live streams. And you can also become a member for $1 a month and get some cool custom emojis for the chat and comments, or become a Patreon and get your songs mastered and win some cool apps in the process. Okay, let's get out of here. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Stay awake and let's Oj!